Everyone, welcome back to Unconventional Money Moves. I got Lea Burbidge Izquierdo with us, founder of Puppysphere, where she's creating puppy-centric experiences, anything from wellness events with puppies, office days with puppies. You need a lunch date, she can get you a puppy, anything around puppies. And it seems like what you're selling is like happiness with puppies.
It really is actually. I guess our events are really proning mental health, and what better way to do it than with puppies? I don't really know anyone who doesn't like puppies, and so it's definitely working.
Totally. When I was in school, they someone did something where you could rent a puppy for a day and you could
You
take
could
that
rent a puppy.
puppy and like walk it around campus or like just chill on the green lawn with the puppy. And so when I stumbled across your company, I was like, oh, I remember someone did something like this. What led to starting something around puppies? How did that come about?
So the Puppysphere actually started as being a dog-centric event company. We were called Doggos. We are a Canadian company, and so Doggos was in Toronto. During the pandemic, so many people got dogs. People were working from home, people weren't working at the office anymore, and everyone got dogs. But there was nowhere to go with any of those dogs. And so I had a dog of my own. My co founder also had a dog, and we didn't really have anywhere to go with the dogs because cities aren't that dog friendly. And we just decided to create events that really invited dogs and people, dog owners, the pets. And so we started off creating these experiences that were like bring your own dog to comedy night, bring your own dog to club nights, single nights, consumer events. And we did a bunch of events where the events were for the people, but you could bring your dog. Everything was dog friendly. And on the side, to kind of cater to the audience of those who didn't have dogs, and people who just loved dogs, we did puppy yoga. And so, puppy yoga is people often get confused. They think that the puppies are doing the yoga, but no, the people do the yoga, and there are puppies roaming around, just giving all this love and endorphin. And so, we always did puppy yoga on the side to bring in the dog lovers versus only catering to dog owners. Um, we started Doggos about 2 years ago, and we were focusing on those events, making cities more dog friendly. And eventually, as we grew, we brought in a financial advisor, and he advised us that as a self funded company, we should focus on what funds. And what funded was the puppy yoga, and people just want to be around dogs. A lot of people don't have the finances, the time, the space to have a dog. And those classes really allowed them to have their little puppy craving and then go home and not have to purchase a dog of their own. And so we decided to really focus on puppy yoga. And as we started doing the classes, we also just saw all the benefits to it in terms of mental health. You walk into a room of puppy yoga and everyone's laughing, smiling, and it's just honestly such a feel good experience. And as we focused on it, we also saw all those benefits. And that's when we decided to completely shift the focus, kind of drop the dog friendly events and focus on this portion of a new modern approach to wellness, which is wellness with puppies.
I've been seeing so many dog parks open up that have bars associated with them where people go and hang out all day. Everyone brings their dogs. There's like referees out there to make sure nothing gets too out of hand with anyone's canine companions. What is causing this spike in popularity?
I think dogs are the new children. I think people are just having children is so expensive that now people are having dogs. Like I have a dog. A lot of millennials, a lot of younger generations are also starting to have dogs younger. So I got my first pet, well, Nala. I got her when I was like 23, and we do have this obsession with our pet, which is a very new thing, generational wise. Our like my parents don't really understand it, but I definitely spend a lot more money on my pet than I do on myself. I make sure that Nala has her supplements and her vaccines and her everything, and I'll have like a coffee for breakfast. I think we just want to have that, also that companionship with us at all time, and so we just want to bring them everywhere we go. And while there has been this spike within pet ownership, the other institutions, cities, they haven't really caught up to that trend of everyone having dogs. And so I think post COVID, right now, people are really understanding the pet industry and how big it's really grown. And that's why people are opening up these spaces that are welcoming to dog owners and their child, their furry child, I guess.
Yeah, my wife's cousin was telling us one time we're a dink household. Have you heard of a dink?
Yes.
Not pickleball dink, but like double income, no kids, and then a dink wad, double income, no kids with a dog. And I found that interesting because my wife and I, we have a 9-month daughter, but neither of us really wanted a dog. So it's interesting to hear the flip side to that and why people are getting dogs rather than going the old route of get married at like 18, 19 and start pumping out children.
I think I think it's also mainly a city trend. Being in
Mhm.
the city, renting an apartment, um, there's not always like having children in the city is definitely something that is more difficult versus having a dog. You can definitely adjust. And with the pandemic, the new trends of working from home and the hybrid situation, it's a lot easier to have a dog. Um, Offices are also starting to be a lot dog friendly. And so post, uh, I had a corporate job for quite a few years before June last year. I actually quit to focus full time on the Puppysphere, which was a very proud moment. But when I used to work in corporate, I was able to bring Nala to the office, which made it a lot easier for me. I guess as company culture, it's definitely a benefit as well. People stay at the office a little longer because they don't have to rush home and take the dog out. But being in a city also means that there's not, especially so I'm located in New York. New York, the apartments are pretty small. You work long hours, and so not everyone is able to get a dog, even though we've seen an influence, like an increase in dog ownership. Some cities just it's not that easy having a dog, and that's why I think our offerings of puppy events and puppy wellness events are definitely booming within cities like New York, like Toronto, like Miami, because people who do want dogs and aren't able to get dogs are actually still able to spend that time with puppies. And then I guess they don't go home, purchase a dog that they don't have time for, space for. And so we kind of cater to that need that everyone is wanting, which is a pet. I get companionship.
For sure. So you had this idea of bringing people happiness through puppies. Has there been any studies or research on this that you've looked into on the benefits? I know you mentioned a few earlier. I was just curious if you knew of like any academic studies or psychological studies people have been doing on the importance of companionship, such as having puppy time.
But I think eventually when we started, it was really just out of our personal studies. I did study psychology in school, and so I do understand the importance how people are looking to get those connections and uh, having that companionship as a human. We are always looking for those relationships and those connections. And when I got my pet, she was my very first dog. I didn't grow up with dogs. I wanted a pet, and I got Nala, my Samoyed, and I just realized how you always have someone there for you, and they are a lot of work. They are a lot of work, and you definitely have to be ready for it and have the right resources to get a pet. But the love that they offer you is so unconditional. And I think that just that new approach to love, I guess, that I started feeling when I got my first dog was just so different. And Francesca also has a dog, and is also obsessed with Hershey. And so I think it was more of a personal revelation. And then people would call me and be like, "Can I babysit Nala? I just want to spend time with the dog." And we would just see like breeders or other puppies, and we'd always want to be around dogs, and we'd be like, we're not the only ones who like kind of feel that. But it is scientifically proven that puppies do offer that endorphin, and that's why a lot of like schools and CJEBs, they'll bring in dogs during really stressful periods, because that little puppy love and just having this little heartbeat on your chest, because they're quite small, they're between like 8 weeks and 12 weeks, and just having that connection with something that loves you unconditionally and knows nothing about you is just pretty special.
Why do you believe people are getting more puppies nowadays? Especially because for me, we have like social media, which is supposed to bring people together, yet sometimes it's pushes people apart. I'm just like thinking out loud, like what's going on? Are people like giving up on people, or are puppies just easier because they're friendly and they're always gonna love you and they'll never leave you?
I really hope that's not the case. I hope people aren't like giving up on dating for puppies, because love is like love between two humans is quite a beautiful thing. But yeah, I guess it's people. I guess with social media as well, we always feel like at the tip of our hands, we are connected to the world, and we have this device that holds thousands and millions of people that we know or we don't know, but we always feel connected. And as I think as time went, and with COVID as well, we were so disconnected from the world, being stuck at home, locked down. With everything opening up, people are just like really looking for those connections at all time. And I think that social media has maybe caused that to a fault, where we need to be connected to people. I think everyone has so much FOMO nowadays. Like you always want to do something. You don't want to be alone at home. You want to be doing things with people, be connected. You're talking on the phone while you're texting, while you're on a Zoom. And I think that having that pet is just, they're always there. You walk in, you had a really bad day, and they are the happiest souls to see you. You don't even have to speak to them. They're easy when it comes to love, not like all the other responsibilities that they bring in. But yeah, I think people really are needing of that connectivity and that love. But I do hope that people aren't giving up on the human relationship, because it is quite important as well. But it is interesting seeing that way.
My uncle is always telling me to get a dog, and he would always tell me this joke, and it is a joke. He's like, Josh, if you put your dog and your wife in the trunk and you lock them in the trunk and you open up the trunk, who's happy to see you? He's like, the dog.
I like this uncle.
And he's been married for, I don't know, at least 30 years, probably more, maybe 35. So obviously he has a loving relationship with his wife and is a dog lover. And it was a funny way of putting it, of no matter what's going on, they're always going to be happy to see you and give you that unconditional love that people can let you down on, because people
Yeah,
are people.
I completely agree. I think it's also a kind dogs also kind of bring you a purpose, and you feel needed in the sense that the dog will always need you. And so if you stop feeding it, if you stop giving him treatment, the dog won't survive without you. And I think that people do also like having that instinct of feeling useful and feeling needed, and the dog does provide that as well.
How did you turn this into a business? You said you left your corporate job, so you must be able to at least make ends meet with everything. What did that look like?
So I guess when we really decided to give up on the event centric offerings and really focus on this new modern approach to wellness with puppies, we kind of kept two avenues to the Puppysphere. And so the first avenue is the public classes that we offer. We knew that they were a success since we had been running them in Toronto for a year now. And so we really kept the public offerings. What that includes is every weekend we run on both Saturdays and Sundays. We run 4 classes of an hour and 15 minutes. The experience includes 45 minutes of yoga, and then 30 minutes of social time. The yoga is a beginner one, vinyasa yoga experience, and then the 30 minutes includes bottomless mimosas. And during the entirety of the event, puppies are running around and giving that love. And then we also focused on corporate. And so the corporate is we do from team bonding, client appreciation, trade show, consumer event. We bring people, we've done like a Barbie launch for the movie. We were within that marketing budget. We also brought puppies to Travis Scott at the Scotiabank Arena when he had his concert in Toronto. So we do a whole range of events when it comes to corporate. We really decided to focus on both those avenues. And we had been working on the business at the same time as working our corporate for a year now. And we were like, when I refer to we, it's Francesca and I. Francesca is my co-founder, and we've been working on this since the beginning. And so we told ourselves, you know what? We've been working on this for a year. We both still have our corporate jobs. We haven't made a single dime in our pockets because we are self-funded. So we reinvest everything within the company. And we were like, if we're going to fail, let's fail fast. Let's go play with the big guys. Let's go to New York. And we were like, we know this works in Toronto, but if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. Someone said that in a song once. And so we did. A month later, I just quit my corporate job. I packed my bag, and Francesca and I moved to New York together, and we tested the grounds. And within 1 month, we had to get a second studio because our experiences were fully selling out. They were selling out weeks in advance. And we had to get a second studio to really give to the demand. And it was really incredible return. The corporate were dying for it. We were getting about 60 to 100 inbound a week requesting for us to bring puppies in their offices, for them to come and do a yoga experience for their staff, because pizza parties are done. Now it's all about wellness and the importance of mental health within the company cultures. And that's when we decided that that was the focus of the company, and that quitting our jobs was definitely a right move. And that's when we decided to expand across North America.
You got to be in the right place and get in where you fit in, and being in a large market like New York definitely paid off. What did you do to promote that first event? Was it just online? Were you out handing out flyers with a puppy?
For us, social media is definitely our biggest traffic. Our experiences are very catered to that world of social media, whether it's TikTok or Instagram. Who doesn't want to take pictures with puppies? Who doesn't want to come into beautiful, modern spaces in New York City, take photos with your friends, with puppies, with mimosas? And so we really hooked onto that trend of social media, and that's pretty much how we get most of our customers. It's definitely a really large audience. While our events are very mental health focused, they are also Instagram prop events for photos. And so that's a lot of how we got our market, our customers in. Also, influencer marketing is definitely a very strong avenue for us. We have people with a large following that come into our classes. We offer them tickets, and then they post because of the experience of what the subject of it. And so that's really how we did it. It was with social. And we do have a very strong team. Right now, we are about 12 full-time employees. And they are based in Toronto, but they're an awesome team, and we wouldn't have been able to do it without them. We did hire them within this year, but we have a killer marketing team, sales team, our web development. It's a tight team. We are young and we're excited, but yeah, we owe a lot of our success to them as well.
Now walk us through, what does the business side of this look like? You got the happy puppies, happy people, some beverages to indulge with. What does the inside look like? I know you mentioned a little bit about the team, but what does that look like on the inside to make this a profitable company?
Yeah, I guess people often see puppy yoga as something so simple. Let's say I tell someone I own a puppy yoga business, they think it's just a yoga class and we find puppies and we bring them in. I think Puppysphere has so many moving parts, from going from the public to the private. But when it comes to public, really, we get a lot people buy tickets on the website. They purchase their tickets, and then within that, we have our whole web development team and marketing team to really push the sale of our tickets, as we do currently have. We host about 1,200 people a weekend in all our locations. We have 2 studios in Toronto. We're currently running a pop-up in Toronto. We have 2 studios in New York and 1 in Miami. And so our team definitely pushes the sales, making sure that our social media is promoting our theme weekends and our different experiences and different cities. And then we have, that's really our main core team. And then we have event facilitators. We have about 70 part-time event facilitators across all cities. Event facilitators are those who run, whether it's the private or the public classes. And so during the weekend, they are running our studios. They are the face of the company. They welcome the guests. They set up. They make sure that the puppies are well handled. Definitely the safety of the puppies is our main priority. And so we have always event facilitators on site during the classes that make sure that people are handling the puppies correctly, that the puppies are clean, that the accidents are picked up. And they really run the classes. They're also the ones that are serving the mimosas to the customers. And so they really run our events. And then, yeah, we have our main core team from marketing to sales. Our sales takes care of anything private. And so when we have private events, they speak to our sales team, they close in the deal, and then they transfer the client to our city managers. Every city has a manager, which allows us to have a really well-oiled machine, and which allows the higher executives to really focus on the expansion and what's next to come, and also just new offerings other than just yoga. We are looking at like meditation, sound baths, anything within that wellness world as well. We're always trying to come up with new ideas, but it's definitely, we are a large team. I'd say with all part-time and full-time, we are close to 100 people. You need to be a very well-oiled machine. Having different cities is definitely difficult sometimes. As I'm in New York, the team is in Toronto, but I think that having been doing it for 2 years, we have really built this business in a box that we can all bring to other cities.
My thoughts are, someone like myself, I'm in like a boring business, like finance and investing. You got me thinking, it's like, hey, maybe I could have a puppy event and talk about something creative with puppies. And now we're taking something that could be boring and turning it into not only educational, but an experience where it's way different than your typical person. So if you're out there with a boring business and you're always wondering how you can get more people, bring some puppies.
Puppies make everything better. Like puppies will bring in so many leads. Anyone wants to play with puppies. And so as soon as someone sees a puppy, they run to it and you'll get all the attention.
Well, that's awesome. Are you able to share what's next to help take the company to that next level?
Right now, the Puppysphere is really focusing on expansion across North America. And so we are looking to expand within 3 new cities by the end of the year. You will be seeing us in Chicago in June, and the next locations are still secret, but they are coming. And so that's really what we're focusing on right now. We also just took a huge jump as a company, and we just got 2 new studios, one in Toronto and one in New York. They are massive spaces that we are completely building out. They will have 2 studios running at the same time, and the studios are going to be perfectly built to our offerings. And so that was definitely a huge new step for us. I was just in Toronto last week with the contractors building the studios, working on all the interior design, making sure that the branding is on point and that everything looks good. And on Monday, I'm getting the keys for the new New York studio. And so I'll be managing also the construction in this city. So that is definitely a huge step for us. And then, yeah, we'll be opening 2 new studios in Chicago in June. I think expansion within the cities, offering what we are offering, that puppy love and that mental health wellness to more cities in the US is our focus right now.
Or like Pitbull becoming Mr. Worldwide with all your puppies. Well, this is
The
exciting. It's
same
an
thing.
interesting business and a cool story that you're able to share, that you went from corporate to packing up your bags, moving to New York, and rolling the dice. So glad to have you on. Thanks everyone for listening. We'll see everyone next time. Bye, everyone.